What's up, YouTube? Joe back again with another video response to another contest. To Diggs HXJ contest about funny car stories. Wow, where do I begin? You know, it may not be funny to you, kind of funny to me. But one happened to me when I was in high school. And I'd gone to a basketball game at a rival school across town. Myself and one of my good friends. And at that time, man, we love sports, but one of the benefits of going to sporting events was, man, you got to check out the girls. You know what I'm saying? And when we were leaving the game, the school was right on a main highway, but behind the school, as in many of cases of schools, behind the school is a big subdivision. And we were kind of flirting around with some girls. We got in my car at that time, a 1968 Chevrolet Impala. Ooh, chick magnet. Not. But it was for that night, because there were a couple of girls, fine-looking young ladies, I might add, began to follow us. And so we just started playing around with them. He said, see if they can keep up with you, my friend. Said, see if they can keep up with you. See if they can keep up with you. I said, okay. We played around. So the faster I would go, the faster they would go on our tail. We were zipping through the subdivision, going around. I mean, there were streets there. There were like all parallel, perpendicular kind of streets there. And we were zipping through and going around and back around. Got to the edge of the subdivision, which was leading into the probably a practice field there at the school. And I was busy looking in my rearview mirror, watching the girls. And I looked down, and suddenly I was going maybe 40 miles an hour, which is not real fast, but for a subdivision, that was pretty fast. And I was looking in the rearview mirror, and by the time I looked back down, the street had turned this way, and I was still going this way. Wouldn't you know it, that there was that kind of light gravel there. It was paved streets, but there was still some gravel there in that turn. So I whipped the car around, and when I did, let's say there was a pole here and a pole, well, like this, a pole there. And in between the pole, it was all across around the field. And there were chains that draped in between the poles. You know what I'm talking about? They were like what we call here in our part of the country, telephone pole, like half-cut telephone poles stuck in the ground that had chains running through them. My car wound up wedged exactly between the two poles, if you will, breaking the chain. What I did basically with my car, I feel like I'm showing miles here. What I did with my car is I basically hit one post like this, and the car back end went around, so it was stuck right in between the two posts. I could go nowhere. The car was running fine. It kind of bent my bumper, but I could not get out of there. I had to call a wrecker service to literally lift my car up over the pole and put it back down, which wasn't so bad, and even the damage wasn't all that bad, because the car wasn't in that great a shape anyway. If you know what I mean. You know, when you're a lot of us, when we're teenagers, we got the cars that, you know, we could ding up a little because we were still learning. Obviously, I was. And bad thing about it was the record service said, son, we need to know your parents' name. Because I had the money. For some reason, I had some, because I was working. Even at a younger age, I was already working. Matter of fact, I was already working in radio. So I was making a little pocket change, and I had the money to pay the record. But because I was under 18, they had to notify my parents. That hurt worse than, than me hitting the post. So, got another one of those great tongue lashings from my dad when I got home. The girls, by the way, nowhere to be found. They kept going. Oh well. Got a second one, real quick one. I was driving my car before that. This is what happened before that. My very first car was a 1968 Buick Skylark. Yellow with a black top, looked like a bumblebee. And I would drive it pretty fast, you know. And one day I got home from driving pretty darn fast. We lived right off the main highway at the time. My parents weren't at home, so I could pull into the carport because I was going to get out and run in and get something, come back out. I pulled into the carport, zipped in there. I had been just out running that car. Got out of the car, and all of a sudden I noticed what appeared to me as being smoke coming out from under the hood. And I'm going, oh crap. So I ran. We had a big fire extinguisher there on the carport. Ran, got the fire extinguisher, popped the hood, and man, this stuff is billowing out. And I'm going, oh man, the house, it's under the carport. The house is going to burn down. So I took the fire extinguisher. I mean, I covered it. Turns out it was a water pump that burst, and it was only steam. I ruined the engine. Huh. Couple of funny car stories there for you, Jay. Hope you liked them. That's it. Be careful with your cars. I've got more funny car stories, but I don't have the time here to do them all. God bless you all. See you next time.